Why'd you release the game in a state like this?
Money!
Why didn't you expand your team to actually meet the deadlines?
Money!
Do you even care about the game?
Money!
What's up everyone? My name is Strife, and before we get to what today's video is about, I want to apologize for not getting out a second video in last week. I usually try to release a video on Tuesdays and Saturdays, but the current state of New World has made it very hard for me to want to make more content for it, or really even log into the game. And I might be a little addicted to the new Path of Exile League at the moment. But anyway, New World State is what I want to talk about today. Instead of just listing all the problems the game has like many others have before me, I want to talk about the things that AGS have done to make me lose hope for the project, and the last straw that made me want to fully quit the game for the time being. If you want to watch a video that gives an overview of a lot of the problems, then I recommend giving this video from Upper Echelon Gamers a watch, and I'll have the link in the description down below. Even though some of these problems have been fixed, I feel like this video does a really good job on showing the absolutely fragile foundation that this catastrophe of a game is building itself on, and I would just be repeating what he has already said anyways. Biggest issue I have with the game is not the game itself, but AGS's communication. I knew the game was riddled with bugs, I knew that many of the bugs that were already reported in beta still weren't fixed. I even knew that the game would eventually turn into a cheat fest because of the amount of power they gave the client, but I trusted that with time and with proper communication we could get to a state in which the game would be playable and enjoyable. The first communication error that hit me personally was the false information they gave on server transfers. You see, originally AGS stated that the original server transfers would be a thing and that we should pick whatever server we can and just get into the game. Since I had some friends that were playing on a US East server and a lot of the European servers were having huge problems, I decided to play with those friends for a while and would transfer to my main region later on. After putting 90 hours into the character and being around level 50, they released their detailed explanation of server transfers in which they went back on their word and stated it was not possible to transfer regions. Anticipating that they would probably do this, I started a EU character around 2 days before this announcement was made, and thought it was quite funny that I predicted that they would not keep their word. I proceeded to go through the entire leveling process to 60 again, meaning I saw all the copy-pasted content of the game twice as much as I would have liked to. Some people in the comments will say that I'm stupid for playing on a different region, but it was to dodge queue times because I would always be able to play on non-prime US times, and the decision was made based off of a statement from the official Twitter account of the game I was playing. I still don't think I'm in the wrong for trusting their response, but I know that many people were stuck in a region they didn't intend to play in and outright quit instead of dumping another 100 hours into the game like I did. While all of this was going on, we had the entire fiasco with the report bombing and automated bans going out. I remember seeing a forum post in which a community manager doubled down on a statement that these bans were not automated and that a moderator in the forum that had stated that they were was being talked to about providing correct information. Now, this problem is still not solved 2 weeks later, people are still getting mass reported and banned, and it is very obvious that it is an automated process. Why they would double down and censor one of their own moderators to try and cover it up beats me. This isn't the worst part of it yet though. Normally after 2 big fuck-ups in communication, you would try to put better infrastructure in place to provide your customers with correct and constant information, but not if you're AGS though. Their plan to combat the false info that they have been giving out is to just completely ignore their player base instead. While in the beginning, the Twitter was very responsive in trying to answer questions, after these situations it just went radio silent besides posting weekly patch notes, and even these patch notes were incomplete. So not only are we waiting full weeks to be let in on what has been fixed, but we don't even have the full information of these patches in those weekly updates. This was especially hilarious considering the catastrophic situation with wars in the game. The lag and invulnerability bugs have made wars complete jokes that aren't even worth signing up for unless you want to exploit them as well. And when huge creators like Shroud and Courage continued to tweet at the New World Twitter every day, they were completely ignored. And again, I hear people saying that these creators should not get special treatment and be answered to individually just because they have a following, or that they should go post in the official forums that will just be buried with other posts instantly. But you have to understand that these creators are the player's voice. They represent not only themselves, but their viewership as well. And they are the ones that have the ability to get enough traction to where a reply from the devs should be a given. But they were instead just completely ignored. When even these huge creators that are driving a ton of traffic towards your game are not worth your time, then how should we normal players feel about being left in the dark? But the final straw in all of this was this Reddit thread. A player that went 21-0 in wars with his company was talking about bugs that I already knew existed, but other things as well that were completely mind-numbing to me. The 2 points that stand out the most to me are the resilience bug and the fact that almost all perks just don't do anything. Resilience is a buff that is supposed to shield you from critical hits. As it turns out, it shields you from all incoming damage, meaning a full faction set with resilience is way stronger than a full 600 gear score set until you can craft a 600 gear score set with resilience. On top of that, I knew that a lot of perks were broken or behaving in ways they shouldn't, but according to the Redditor, one of his guildmates was trying out every perk in the game and has come to the conclusion that most of them literally don't do anything. The Fireball perk, for example, that many people have spent a bunch of money on, literally does nothing. Combine that with the armor bugs in which the actual stats of your armor don't matter, only the weight class that you're in, and the fact that all the armor bonuses aren't even applied correctly, and you have the perfect storm for me to go like, why the fuck should I even make a build guide when none of the information in game can be trusted? And that's why I'm quitting for now. It feels disingenuous to make build guides or any other content for a game where I can't fully trust the information I'm actually giving out without having to dig through hundreds of forum posts and Reddit threads to see if the things are actually working as they are described in game. It also feels like there is no point in continuing the same gameplay loop that I have played for the last 180 hours just to not be able to participate in any content simply because all the systems are either broken or failing. I've got my $40 worth of money, I had a lot of fun with the game before I lost my rose-tinted glasses, but for now, I don't see a world in which New World can really fix itself. The foundation is so shaky, and the new content that people are hoping for will just be more copy-pasted content. And if it isn't, I would be even more upset if I was a player, simply because it means they copy-pasted the entire second half of the game just to keep a few models from us that they can then sell us as an expansion. I know this was a huge rant, but I wanted to get everything off my chest and explain my reasoning as to why I won't continue releasing New World content. I am looking forward to other titles though, such as the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion Endwalker, which is a game I very deeply love, and also Lost Ark Online. I have played a ton of Lost Ark on both the Korean and Russian servers, and I know that if the West can get over the alt character centric gearing, that the game will be a huge success in the West. With Lost Ark being a few months out though, it will be a while until I start creating a bunch of content for it, so I would like to ask you guys what kind of content you would like to see outside of New World. I really enjoy trying to make high quality YouTube content and would like to continue doing so any suggestions on what you would like to see would be much appreciated. If you liked the video, make sure to give my other videos a watch. Feel free to leave a comment down below, and if you enjoy my content, leave a like for the algorithm and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, till next time, peace.